You live from the IEC Results Operation Center in Pretoria. The last day at the Results Center. We are expecting results. If you have just tuned in, we welcome you to the show. We welcome our listeners at Salam Media, our viewers on the various channels on YouTube and on Facebook. Also welcoming our listeners once again on the platforms of Al Ansar, both in Durban, Pietermaritzburg, One Nation, 88.9 FM out of Polokwane. Glad that you are able to join us, and also our IT viewers, who are ITV viewers who are with us this morning. Now, quite a bit to come on the show. We still have got the financial update coming up, but we will be doing some analysis on what the election results are showing at this point in time. The number crunching has been done, and it's time now to see what the outcome is, and more importantly, analyzing these outcomes. What does it mean for a local government in South Africa moving forward? The performance of the various political parties at this point in time. The ANC, the DA, not very happy. They've taken somewhat of a bruising, a loss of support, and also looking at some of the new players like Action SA that are now in the local government arena. And the key question, and this seems to be the dominating discussion at this point in time, coalition politics, coalition governance in the country. As a country, do we have the capacity to run coalition governments? Do we have the capacity to run municipalities where we have to work as political parties, various political parties working together? But again, it's about trade-offs, and that seems to be the overriding issue at this point in time. The horse trading that will be taking on. You give me this, I will give you that. And that seems to be the thinking at this point in time, but also at the same time, the ANC having taken a bruising, trying to still hold on to that majority card that they have been playing for a very, very long time. And they made it clear yesterday, Jesse Duarte, the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, making it clear that because the ANC has the most support, they would have the right to govern. The DA have their own ideas. They're talking the legal route. Action SA talking about ideologies, not getting into bed with the likes of the ANC for one simple reason: they are anti-corruption. Now, this is also the viewpoint of the EFF. Where does this leave some of the smaller parties? And we've seen some of them making quite an impact, or we will be seeing many of them making an impact on local governance. If we look at the Cape, we're talking about parties like the Patriotic Alliance, we're talking about the Good Party, we're talking about the Cape Coloured Congress, even parties like the Al Jamaa Party, the Freedom Front Plus. These are parties that are going to make a difference. The good showing of the IFP in the KwaZulu-Natal region. So all of this is going to play out over the next few days, and we will try and bring you analysis. We'll be talking with Professor Andre Duvenage at around 9:20 a.m. But right now, we're going across to be joined by Nafisa Saida. This financial update brought to you by Randri Jewelers. Nafisa, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you, Uncle Inayet?
Yes, very well, alhamdulillah. Excited today, the final day at the IEC Results Center.
Well, it is showing too with the rand, because the rand yesterday fell further back toward an 8-month low. The rand was influenced by the election results coming out as well as global factors. This morning, however, sees a slightly stronger rand, trading at 15 rand 34 to the dollar, 20 rand 95 to the pound, 17.76 to the euro, and 4 rand 9 cents for 1,000 riyal. Brent crude is at $82.32 a barrel. And your gold coin prices are lower this morning. The crude rand at 30,000 rand. The Zahab medallion is 28,750 rand. The dinar coin is 5870, and your 40 dinar is 1,540 rand. That's it for your financial update.
Well, shukran for that, and as always, for your time, Nafisa. Have yourself a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
The financial update brought to you by Randri Jewelers. We're going to go for a break. We'll be back.
Stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
What makes Randri Jewelers the optimum place for your memorable gift? Is it our range of exclusive, high-end, luxurious jewellery? Or is it our master craftsmanship of all your bespoke jewellery needs? We believe it's because at Randery Jewellers, we know just how to make your special moments last forever. Whether it's for a wedding, anniversary, or just a simple gift to show your love, trust Randery Jewellers to make it special. www.randeryjewellers.com. Make your moments last forever with Randery Jewellers, the family name you can trust.
The Prophet, peace be upon him. Rajab is the month of Allah. Shaban is my month. And Ramadan is the month of my ummah. Increase your sadaqah to the communities of the Eastern Cape region of South Africa. A parent's lament. Due to the poor quality of food, the children wake up hungry in the middle of the night. And this bothers us. At times we feel it would be better if someone adopted them so as to give them a chance in life. Donate your zakah or lillah to our feeding and skill upliftment programs. Our skill programs have made zakah recipients independent of zakah and allowed them to earn with dignity. Phone us at 041-484-1288 or visit our website at www.alfida.co.za. The Al-Fida Foundation, your social investment partner in the Eastern Cape.
Ah, the kitchen, the heart of the home, where memories are made and celebrated. Our go-to place for those freshly stacked pancakes early in the morning or for the late-night snack munchies. We are in there together, cooking, eating, and celebrating life together. Let's keep the kitchen a place that is shared by everyone, where we build stronger bonds and grow together. Sunfoil, Now We Cooking. Visit nowwecooking.co.za for recipes that everyone can help make.
There are over 200 million orphans globally. We can't help all of them, but what if we each helped just one? The Al Imdad Foundation now gives you an opportunity to help just one orphan from Syria or Palestine. For just 500 Rand per month, you can help safeguard the dignity of an orphan by assisting them with basic needs such as food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and attention. Our orphan sponsorship program allows you to track the progress of your orphan through regular feedback. Make a difference in the life of an orphan today. Visit alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Freedom Stationery supply Marlin and Marlin Kids pens to me and my school friends. They supply just about everything we need to help us get a better education, from books to files to rulers. In fact, any any accessory we need. Freedom Stationery. Education for the nation. What does accessory mean?
Al-Aqsa, the noble sanctuary, steeped in awe-inspiring miracles. Islamic Relief presents One Night in Al-Aqsa, a drive-in experience on November 19th at Marks Park Sports Club in Johannesburg. Book your tickets now and take a journey through Al-Aqsa. Visit www.islamic-relief.org.za to book your tickets.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
The time is just gone 19 minutes past 9 a.m. as we continue this morning providing analysis on the outcome of the 2021 local government elections in South Africa, and we're going across to be joined by a professor at the University of Northwest, also academic and political analyst, Professor Andre Duvenage. Professor Andre, good morning to you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Yes, Professor, if you could just up your volume slightly. We are hearing you quite faintly, so if you could just talk slightly louder. But looking at where we are at this point in time, we are expecting the results to be announced at around 6 p.m. this evening, but with well over 97% of the vote that has been counted and the results have been released. Clearly, it is showing us a pattern, but a different pattern from what emerged in 2016. Professor Andre?
Yes.
Yes, Professor, we are having somewhat of a problem. In fact, we are getting a bit of a break in communication. We're going to try and get you on a better line, and I'm going to ask my engineer to get you on a better line, hopefully. Yes, again, when one looks at the pattern of how the elections have evolved over a period of time since 1994, since we've seen, since the advent of democracy in the country, and particularly looking at 2016, and I think this is where the signs were very, very clear as far as the ANC was concerned in terms of losing ground and many other political parties making ground. We see that in the metros this time round. We see it in Mangaung, we see it in eThekwini, in Ekurhuleni, in Tshwane, in Gauteng as well, where these are going to be hung metros at this point in time, and coalition politics are going to be playing a major role in these major metros. The clear ones, obviously, with the DA still having a clear majority in the Western Cape to be able to rule, and also looking at provinces like the Northwest and Mpumalanga and the Orange Free State. But when one looks at some of the major metros, it is clear that the message has gone out very, very strongly by the voters in the country, even though it was somewhat of a low turnout. Professor Andre, back with us. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. I hope you can hear me clearer now at this point. Can you?
Yes, much clearer, much clearer. Yes, from what we're seeing coming through at this point in time, what is your reading into the results and the outcome that will be finally announced this evening by the IEC, Prof?
Okay, to start with, the first is the big drop in support from the ANC. Now, the figures at the moment indicate a drop from 57% to about 46.3%. In our last seen the figures. Secondly, a drop of support for the Democratic Alliance. Although not so this year, we're talking about 4-5% drop, but it's as if the DA is not performing that bad. Because the expectations are that they may drop between 15 and 20%. Other parties that didn't perform well, COPE is completely off the line. The UDM didn't perform well. If we the EFF is more or less a status quo. It seems as if the threshold of 10-11% is difficult for them to change in a way. So these are the one side of the story. The success stories are coming from parties like Action SA, the Freedom Front Plus, parties in the community environment. I was in the Northern Cape, at the IEC in the Northern Cape, and there was a group, the Namakwa Civic Movement, who became the official opposition in a place like Pofadder. But there are many of these civil societies, community-based organizations that I believe claim a lot of support. Then the so-called Colored Party, it's not the Colored Congress, but the Patriotic Alliance, they call themselves. They performed very, very well. And if we look at the current situation, we are looking at a total of 62 hung councils throughout the country. And specifically of importance is the hung councils in the metropoles of Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, Nelson Mandela Metropole, and even eThekwini in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal. And this is redefining politics in a number of ways. From there, my argument that this election was indeed a watershed election. It is part of the bigger framework I analyzed in the past that I called a tipping point politics. And we are now into this, and it's going to be negotiations. Already, I heard that Jeff Radebe was appointed by the ANC to deal with negotiations, and Tony Leon is doing that on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. So indeed, interesting times.
Well, it certainly is. And also looking at coalition politics, coalition strategies that are coming into play, although we've seen the ANC still clinging on to the right to rule because of majority support. The DA talking about legal contracts and also in terms of some of the parties, Action SA, ideological base, saying they will never work with the likes of the ANC because of one factor, corruption. So all these factors are going to come into play. A lot of horse trading is going to be done over the next few days, but the key issue is who is going to be willing to go into bed with whom.
Yes, indeed, that is the big question. Now, there are two big approaches according to deal with this problem. The one approach will be a centralist approach, and we have a very strong centralized party system where you are getting party directives from either the Tule House or the leadership of the DA or wherever, deciding that we will cooperate. This is the basis, and we impose this top down. That's the one line of approach, and that is definitely going to be part of the process. On the other side, the approach of unique communities, unique dispensations, unique solutions. And already the DA indicated that what is working in one environment is not necessarily going to be the best. So they follow approach of not all fit every situation, not the principle doesn't fit always the situation, a more pragmatic type of approach. My take on it is that I think it's going to be a mix of both. There's definitely going to be more structure in the coalitions. I must mention that you can get, if you want to use the coalition word in a very broad sense, you can talk about many types of coalitions. You can talk about only a loose agreement around a certain issue. Then you can talk about a general arrangement with many things as focus. And then you can talk about an alliance, which is keeping the identity of the different groupings intact. And then you come to the point where we call a coalition, where the coalition may become the identity, and which is an indication of very close cooperation and consensus about at least core issues. Now, I am not seeing a lot of the coalition type of thing. I am seeing a lot of alignments. I'm seeing a lot of cooperation among key issues. But what I think the DA is concerned about is the way the EFF dealt with them in coalitions in Nelson Mandela, Metropole, Tshwane, and there were others, where they are basically trying to manipulate the total process, although they are only a kingmaker in the process. And I think the Tony Leons of the world would like to see more structured arrangements about cooperation trying to deal with this matter.
Yes, certainly, Prof, because we've learned some bitter lessons from the past where coalitions have become extremely messy, and ultimately we know how disastrous this was for service delivery, and we've seen many municipalities and also metros suffer as a result of some of these messed up coalitions, for want of a better term.
Indeed, that is the case. But we must also see this is a new era in our politics. We need to create culture of cooperation. We do not have a strong culture of coalition politics, quite the opposite from what we have seen in European countries, countries like Israel, Italy, and many other countries, and well-known democracies throughout the world. The advantage of coalition politics is you force people to work together, to find common ground, to identify shared values. That is the positive. The negative is difficult and complicated decision making. And on a local level, you are working directly with the public. You need to function in a very, very direct way, and you need swift decisions. That is the challenge coming from coalition politics. But what is clear, the core of our democracy will be redefined after this election, and it will be very interesting to see the outplay of this in terms of the ANC conference in 2021, because I believe there will be a lot of pressure on Ramaphosa, and secondly, what will happen in 2024 when we have provincial and national elections.
Well, Prof, always interesting getting your views and your take on these matters. And as always, we appreciate you taking time out talking to us here on Salam Media and the various platforms that we are broadcasting this morning live out of the IEC Results Center this morning. We wish you all the best. Please take care.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Professor Andre Dubenacher with us this morning, providing an insight and an analysis on the results. What do they mean? And more importantly, looking at governance in this country. What do we need to ensure there is efficient and effective governance at a local level in the country?
As the crisis in Palestine continues, the Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground facilitating emergency food and medical assistance to the affected families. Donate 15,000 rand or any amount and help the people of Palestine. Call AMA now on 083-251-9376 or donate online at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
We believe in Allah. We believe that all life is sacred, that everyone has the right to dignity. We believe in going the extra mile to help people in areas others don't go. And we believe in the words of Allah, that with difficulty comes ease, Islamic relief. We are one.
Gift of the Needy is working tirelessly to bring relief and hope to families burdened by poverty and distress. Our ongoing projects include aid to those affected and infected by COVID-19. Donate now. Standard Bank, Gift of the Needy, Zakah account 272-327-654. Visit our website on www.giftoftheneedy.com. Call 031-271-3102. Gift of the Needy, bringing ease to those in need.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic, Sharia, and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Tune in to Salam Media via audio stream or watch live facebook.com/Salam Media.
Continue with our broadcast this morning on News and Views, coming to you live out of the IEC Results Operations Center. And joining me in studio this morning, Solly Masilela, political analyst. Solly, good morning, and glad you made time coming from the floor and joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Yes, Solly, now obviously you've taken a keen look as to what is happening. We see most of the results in, and I'm sure come 6 o'clock this evening when the IEC makes the announcement. But I don't think much is likely to change from what we've seen on the national leaderboard or what we are seeing right now.
No. I don't think we can expect anything in terms of improvement of the results per se. I mean, the IEC announced that we are now above the 90% threshold. If there is any change, it will just be a drop in an island there and there. But fundamentally, no, I think these are the results which we must begin to learn to live with.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they are not giving us a big picture, a good picture, you know.
Yes. Now, obviously, the number crunching is done, but more importantly is what the numbers are telling us.
Yes.
Just how do you read into the numbers that we are seeing right now?
No. The numbers are reflecting the anger of the voters, particularly towards the ruling party, and surprisingly so also towards the opposition parties. You still have to figure out whether is it I wouldn't say it's voter apathy per se. Yes, literally it's voter apathy, but beyond that, service delivery issues, people, the economy, the economic conditions under which they are living in, COVID-19, all those things. Also, you must remember also these elections, they had some serious hiccups, whether they must go on or not. The Constitutional Court was involved and all those things. That also created a complex situation on the IEC in terms of managing these elections. We had reports that some voters were turned back because they registered according to them, but they are not on the voters' roll and they couldn't vote. All those things combining, they are beginning to tell us that. But we must understand it in this context. My understanding is that given that we are almost in the COVID season, given that the whole political landscape is shifting now, you have now new independents, you have community organizations coming into the fore because of trying to create some alternative for voters. The whole political landscape is shifting as we speak now. So it will be normal that we'll have some hiccups there and there. The only huge disappointment is the people who didn't go and vote and register. They are right in terms of, if you're tired about a single political party, there are alternatives which, if you vote, to begin to legitimize and entrench the democratic values within the country. These elections, the other aftermath is that it might create some skepticism around its legitimacy, given the number of people who turn out to vote.
Yes, I think what you're making, you make a lot of sense when we're talking about obviously civil society and community-based, because when we're talking about local government, it is about local issues. And even when one looks at, when we looked at during the apartheid era, it was civil society, it was civic movements that played a major role in the country, in transforming the country and getting to us to a democracy where we are at this point in time. Now, sadly, when one looks at the ruling party, the ANC, it's been one-way street for far too long, and it's proves one thing: we cannot rely on politicians, we cannot rely on political parties, and this is where a strong civic movement is actually necessary to ensure there are checks and balances, but also to give these political parties a wake-up call, and this is reflecting on the ballot, this is reflecting on the vote.
Small wonder when you mention the base, the founding model, the founding principles of the ANC, community-based structure initially. Hence, even within its policies and guidelines within government, you have guidelines and policies like Batupeli principles, which speaks to people. But now, as to how did it slip through the cracks for so many years, and what is more concerning to me is that these people were not quiet. They've been speaking. We don't have services. We don't have roads. These things are visible. These political leaders are traveling on those roads with potholes. They visiting places where there are no water. Didn't it intrigue them? Did it intrigue them and say, hang on, we need to wake up? Why must we wait for elections to get a wake up? But indeed, correctly so, this is a wake up call, and the coming in of independent and community organization and reflect such results, compete with some established political organizations, tells you that people are saying we're losing trust in politics. The structure, the configuration of political structures is beginning to be, people are beginning to realize that it's a hindrance towards service delivery. I mean, the whole lot of change. I've listened yesterday when the ANC was accounting to this election, saying that we have learned, people have spoken, we're going to do self-correct. But I'm asking myself a question. ANC is a big organization. Speaking nationally, there is a disjuncture between the national, provincial and local sphere of governance, not necessarily of governance, of structural arrangement within the ANC itself. The language which is spoken here, which is nice, which is progressive, it should be spoken at local government level, but it won't. Even after being given by national, it won't be speaking, because there is corruption, there is self-serving leaders at local government level. That's why at some stage I said I pity President Ramaphosa in this situation when he was elected.
Yes. Now, the warning signs and the bells have been ringing for far too long, and looking at the ANC, some have basically called it a bruising for the ANC because they've taken a severe knock. But also at the same time, not forgetting that there are many of the other parties, when one looks at, for instance, Action SA, who have basically made their mark, and we're going to see this whole question of coalition strategy, coalition politics playing a major role. And just your thoughts on coalition strategies, because in the past, for the first time in 2016, we saw coalition governance starting to emerge, but it was very, very messy. It was horse trading. It is what you can give me and what I can't give you. Those were the issues that were at play.
No. The reality is that we need to accept the coalition arrangement, because it's imposed on these political parties by the voters themselves, when they decided to vote otherwise or stay at home. But in terms of coalitions government bringing a solution, yes, you are correct. This Gamina Gawena type of exchange, bartering on such matters crucial as governance and service delivery, it comes with huge challenges moving forward. The other challenge which is coming again, we are aware that ANC itself internally, there were protests against certain candidates which has been nominated. We must also expect few by-elections immediately after these elections. Those things, they bring the compact to be very difficult. For coalitions to succeed and not to succeed, if I can start there, these parties have policy differences, and policies which they went and market themselves on through their manifesto to their people. Now, the imposition of these results is that now you need to find out within your policies how can you. That's why they are saying, when they invite each other, they are saying those who are closer to us on policies will go to bed with them. But the knack of the matter is that coalitions are always difficult to manage. They are not regulated unless if they can come up with some clear guidelines. And also those guidelines must also have an escape clause, so that when the marriage is no longer working, it must not be a push and pull, difficult type of a divorce. It must be an amicable divorce, because once it becomes like in Tswane, once the divorce becomes messy, for few months, governance comes to a standstill. And what about service delivery? But they are forced to manage coalition better. And my view is that if political parties were not waking up, we might end up, even come next national elections, we might need more coalition governments in terms of, and it's not good for democracy, because democracy, one of the fundamental principles underpinning democracy is that the winner must rule.
Yes, I think what you're saying in terms of not being good for democracy, and some call what we are seeing here at this point in time the signs of a maturing democracy. But even in the case of a maturing democracy, one cannot have the type of behavior we've seen displayed in the past as far as coalitions are concerned. And I've also heard the DA talking about legally binding coalition contracts. Yes. Now, I'm not too sure whether that will work.
No, politics and legal matters, these are two different things. How are you going to legalize? But the most crucial aspect is that when you go and legalize coalitions, you are somewhere going to compromise the mandate which were given to you by your voters. And that might lead into voter apathy again, or dissatisfaction of voters, because there is not a single party during its campaign, through its manifesto, which have yet saying that voters who are going to go into coalition. There is not a single party which attained that mandate. Now you're compromising the mandate which is related to service delivery, solving the country, improving the economy of the country. You go into coalitions, and when you negotiate in boardroom on principles of those coalitions, whether you will be legalize it or whatever, but you are going to compromise something sacrosanct to democracy, which is a mandate from your people.
Well, Soli, I must say it's been an absolute pleasure you taking time out and joining us in studio this morning. All the best to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You have my number.
Soli Masilela joining us, providing some context and analysis into the results that we have seen so far. We're going to go for a break. We'll be back with a lot more coming to you from the IEC Results Center this morning.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
These days, I'm more health conscious than ever. So tonight, it's stir fry for dinner, cooked in healthy Helios pure sunflower cooking oil. Helios is pure sunflower goodness, packed with omega-6. That's good for your heart, and is approved as part of the Heart and Stroke Foundation eating plan. Dinner's ready! Helios, pure sunflower cooking oil. A healthy family is a happy one.
Did you know that you can get the latest humanitarian news and updates from the Al-Imdad Foundation by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube? You can also receive our flash updates via WhatsApp by adding 082 591 6430 as a contact and sending us a WhatsApp message with your name. That's 082 591 6430. Visit alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails, milkshakes, and so much more. Corporate and events catering available. Visit our social media pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's, the Taste with Kick.
Alhamdulillah, we are finally free of riba. It smells lovely.
Yeah, with Yakina, I managed to stop all the riba, Hajo. This insurance price is going up again.
Oh, we are not free of riba, Babu. You need to stop the insurance.
We have to have insurance, Hajo. You know how bad it is with all the crime and the accidents.
Have a little yakin now, Babu.
Yeah, man, I do have a little yakin. But I wish there was a way to leave all these riba insurance companies, man.
Babu, I can't handle this. The stench. It stinks.
Is that my underarms?
No, the riba stinks. Please find a way to stop this riba insurance, Babu.
Leaving riba insurance is easier than you think. Call Amana IFS for all your personal and commercial takaful needs. 0861 786 393. Amana, leave riba for good.
Amana IFS is a registered financial services provider.
Reliable access to clean water could save thousands of lives each day. With proper sanitation and easy access to fresh, clean water, communities can flourish. Our Thirst Relief Appeal provides clean water to communities in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East by building deep wells and providing sustainable water and hygiene solutions. A monthly donation of as little as 700 Rand could build a well for a community in need. That's only 23 Rand a day. Donate today. www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 11 00 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Famine, conflict, and severe economic decline make the humanitarian crisis in Yemen the worst in the world. More than 20 million Yemenis do not know where their next meal is coming from, and over 10 million are suffering extreme levels of hunger. With your support, the Al-Imdad Foundation delivers essential food aid to starving Yemeni communities. It's a question of survival. So let's do what's right. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
On the 1st of November 2021, Mzansi heads to the polls.
Stay tuned and in touch as Salam Media brings you the latest news and insights on your local government elections, live from various voting stations.
Be sure to exercise your right and vote wisely, because your vote makes a difference.
Remember, your vote is your voice.
This is Salam Media. Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
The time is headed for 10 a.m. It's just gone 8 minutes to 10 a.m. as we continue with the broadcast this morning. And in a few minutes, I will be signing off from News and Views, and the final broadcast coming through from the IEC Operation Results Center, and the Salam Media team obviously elated at being here and very hard at work, I must add, in this makeshift studio. But also at the same time, it's been wonderful linking up with the various platforms of Al-Ansar, Durban, Pietermaritzburg, and also ITV and One Nation 88.9 FM out of Polokwane. And we are glad that we have been able to bring you the elections, the sight, the sound of the elections, the visuals coming through from the floor. And at this point in time, just having looked down at the floor, not much happening, somewhat subdued compared to the last few days, because I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point in time as to where the results are finally going to end up. And with 96% of the ballots already counted, and the results have come through already by around about 4:30 a.m. this morning. Just the bits and pieces that will trickle in, that will flow in until the final numbers have been taken into account, and the announcement that will come through at around 6 p.m. by the IEC. Now, clearly there have been a number of factors in the build-up to the elections, and initially on the day of the elections, a lot of focus was on IEC. There were calls made by political parties talking about inefficiencies within the IEC, questioning the ability of the IEC to run the local government elections, and also the management devices that were used, the failure of some of these devices, people not on voter rolls, and this created somewhat of a damper as far as the elections goes. The IEC saying they had only 42 days to plan this election, and the political parties responding by saying that you were given 5 years. The last 2 days meant absolutely nothing. This was just since the Concord ruling that the elections must take place on the 1st of November. But more importantly is looking at the political parties and how they are likely to end up in the elections. Now, looking at the ANC, although they remain in the lead at this point in time at 46% of support nationally, in the 2016 municipal elections, the ANC had 53.91% of the votes nationally. That means a drop of close on to 8%. The DA sitting on 21.25%. Their drop, they've taken a knock of around 5.7%, 26.9%. The EFF reflecting an upward trend, 10.39% versus 8.19% in 2016. But again, one cannot read too much into the numbers nationally. It is what's on the ground that matters more than anything else. It is about the municipalities, it is about local government, it is about governance, providing service delivery, quality service delivery. And with 62 municipalities that are hung municipalities at this point in time versus the 27 that was in 2016, tells us another story altogether. It tells us one story, that the ANC has been one of the biggest losers in this local government elections that have been held now in 2021. They are bruising, and a lot In fact, apart from just the voter apathy, apart from just voters not turning up at polling stations, the traditional support base of the ANC is starting to dwindle. We're seeing it in strong areas. We're seeing it in areas like Mpumalanga. We're seeing it in Free State. We're seeing it in the metros where they were previously strong, where they had more than 50%. We see it in eThekwini, where the IFP is going to feature a lot more prominently. We see it in Mangaung. And remember, Mangaung was the stronghold of Ace Makashule. Did that have something to do with Mangaung now being a hung metro? We see it in Ekurhuleni, ANC very, very strong, and a huge support base, particularly coming through from Ekurhuleni, looking at even the mayor of Ekurhuleni, who had been a strong pro-Zuma advocate. There again, we're talking about a coalition. Tshwane, we know what had taken place in 2016, also in Gauteng. And the only clear-cut provinces are the other traditional ones like the Northwest, the Limpopo province for the ANC, but also for the DA, looking at the Western Cape, although certain areas of the Western Cape where the DA has started losing ground as well. So all of this put together tell us that we are in for some very, very interesting dynamics that will be playing out in the political landscape in the country. The key issue here at the end of the day is where to from here. What is going to happen? Who's going to get into bed with whom? Is there going to be a lot of horse trading that is going to take place? Is it about tit for tat? Is it about giving and receiving? Now, these are questions on the minds of many voters. These are questions on the minds of many analysts that we have been talking to regarding the outcome. But at the end of the day, these are strategies that the political parties themselves will be coming with. Right now, as we speak, we know many of the political parties are having an intense introspection as to where they are as far as coalition is concerned, who they would like to go into coalitions with, and also coming up with the necessary solutions to try and resolve the issue. Because at the end of the day, when we're talking about loose coalitions like we've seen after the 2016 elections, it just became totally messy. As a result, we've seen municipalities collapse, we've seen service delivery being severely impacted and affected, and all of that we cannot afford to do right now. And voters are angry. As we spoke to Solly Masilela, he says this election has been a reflection of the anger of the voters as to what they are seeing. Clearly, we are not happy with what this country is going through at this point in time, and things have not been easier. And remember, we've got the national election that will be coming up in a few years, because if this is a trend, if this is what we are seeing at local government election level, can we just imagine at what are we likely to see in a few years from now? The country is burning at this point in time. There are many issues. Eskom at this point in time, one of the biggest headaches that this country ever has. In fact, the country is actually hemorrhaging with Eskom, load shedding, and coming against the background of the pandemic of COVID-19, the disastrous impact on the economy. There's just so much happening, and if the government, if the politicians, if these councils don't get things right, clearly the signs may not be good. So at the end of the day, we trust, we hope, we pray that sanity prevails and the correct decisions are made for the betterment of the country, for the betterment of societies, communities, and ourselves. And with that, we are heading for 10 a.m. I must say once again, it's been wonderful. It's been an absolute pleasure being in the company of our viewers, our listeners on the various platforms, on Salam Media, on Al Ansar, Durban, Pietermaritzburg, One Nation 88.9 FM, and ITV, who have been part of our election broadcast live out of the IEC Results Operation Center. With that, it's time for me to sign off from myself and the rest of the team. A very small team, but a hard-working team here at Salam Media. We wish you all the best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.